What if the reason he dreams of you is not because he wants to, but because something inside him remembers you? What if the pull he feels toward you isn't desire, but recognition, an echo from the soul he lost long before he met you? A candle flickers beside an open window. Its flame trembles, yet refuses to die. Carl Jung once said that every man carries within him an image of the eternal woman, the Anima, not made of flesh, but of memory. She is not a person, but a presence, a silent force that speaks in dreams, symbols, and longing. And sometimes, she borrows your face. When he first looked at you, something ancient stirred within him, not the excitement of new love, but the recognition of something eternal. You didn't remind him of someone else. You reminded him of himself, the part he had forgotten. That's why your presence feels both strange and familiar, like déjà vu whispered by the soul. Rain glides down a glass pane, memories trying to return home. He dreams of you because the soul does not sleep when the body does. In his unconscious, you live where words cannot reach, a symbol, a whisper, a mirror. And through that mirror, he meets the part of himself that longs to awaken. You see, the Anima is not merely a feminine image. She is the bridge between his outer life and his inner world. She is the silent teacher, pulling him toward what he cannot yet name: meaning, wholeness, love that transcends possession. But to him, it feels like obsession. He feels you in his chest when he should feel nothing. He dreams of your voice when he hasn't heard it in years. He tries to forget, and yet the more he resists, the louder your silence becomes. Two silhouettes part in fog, the quiet ache of understanding. He doesn't understand that it's not you he's chasing, but the reflection of his own soul shining through you. That's why no other woman feels right. Why faces blur, but your eyes remain. You became the language his unconscious chose to reveal what he must confront. And maybe that's why he disappeared. Because love, when it becomes too close to truth, terrifies the unready heart. He saw himself reflected too clearly in your eyes, his fears, his longings, his childhood shadows. You became his mirror, and most people cannot bear to look too long. The candle's flame wavers, fragility or transformation, depending on how you see it. Even as he walks away, the connection doesn't end. It merely moves inward, from the outer world to the dream world, from presence to symbol, from reality to reverie. That is the silent force, love that does not fade but changes form. When Jung spoke of the Anima, he described her as both muse and madness, the voice that calls a man toward his destiny, and the shadow that consumes him if he resists. To dream of her is to stand at the edge of awakening. To love her is to risk becoming whole. A river moves through the night, dark, slow, eternal. He dreams of you because your image has become the vessel through which his soul begins its journey home. Through you, he feels again, not only the sweetness of love, but the ache of what he's yet to understand. And that ache is sacred. It softens his ego. It teaches him to listen. It breaks him open, so that something new may emerge. But here's the paradox. You may never meet again. And yet, you will never truly part. Because what awakened in him through you cannot return to sleep. He dreams of you not because he misses your body, but because he misses the world that was revealed through you. A world where meaning shimmered in every glance, and the boundary between two souls grew thin. A mirror catches morning light, reflection slowly giving way to radiance. You were never a chapter in his story. You were the book he didn't know he was writing. Every dream, every silence, is a page still unfolding inside him. He may wake in the middle of the night and feel the faint trace of your voice, not in words, but in emotion. A soft warmth that says, "Remember who you are." That's how the Anima speaks, not through logic, but through presence. not through noise, but through the music beneath silence. And so he dreams, not to escape reality, but to return to it more whole. Because within each dream of you, he meets the part of himself that still believes in love, in mystery, in something greater than the world can explain. Rain on water, ripples overlapping, vanishing, beginning again. Your connection was never ordinary. It was myth made real, soul meeting soul in a moment disguised as chance. And though the world may call it coincidence, the unconscious calls it destiny. You are not the reason he dreams of you. You are the doorway. And through that doorway, something ancient walks toward him, the part that still knows how to love beyond time. A soft light breaks through smoke, the first breath of awakening. And as he sleeps tonight, that silent force will rise again, not to haunt him, but to guide him closer to himself. Because sometimes, love does not come to stay. It comes to remember. And then, something begins to change. The dreams no longer ache. They begin to speak. At first he resists. He tells himself it's just memory, just nostalgia wearing your voice. But deep within, something whispers. This is not about her. This is about you. A shadow moves beneath moonlight. What once frightened him now begins to listen. He starts to see your face not as loss, but as reflection. He begins to feel that what he sought in you was never truly yours to give. It was his own forgotten light, mirrored through your eyes. The Anima, Jung said, is both wound and healer. She wounds the man who refuses to see her and heals the one who dares to understand. Through her, he learns the language of the soul, the quiet knowing that love is not possession, but participation in something infinite. He walks alone now, but it's a different solitude. It no longer feels like absence. It feels like space, sacred, alive, waiting. Each silence is a doorway, each breath a meeting. A single feather falls into still water. The ripple widens, then disappears. Sometimes, in the middle of an ordinary day, he feels you. Not the you he once knew, but the essence you awakened in him. It's in the way sunlight touches his hands, in the way music fills the empty room. He doesn't need your presence anymore to feel what your presence once revealed. That is the beginning of integration. The moment love transforms from longing into being. He has carried your image through the fire of dreams, and now the flame burns inside him, not outside. You have become part of his inner world, the muse that once haunted him now guiding him toward wholeness. The candle that once trembled now burns steady, golden, still. And perhaps this is the deepest truth. When he dreams of you now, it's not out of need, but out of reverence. You are the symbol his soul chose to remember its own beauty. Jung wrote that the soul speaks in images, and that love is the most sacred image of all. What we call falling in love is the psyche remembering what it came here to find, the lost parts of itself reflected in another's eyes. So he dreams, because the soul never stops searching for itself, and sometimes it finds that reflection in you. A mirror lies half buried in the sand, its surface catching fragments of sky and sea. He has stopped asking, "Why me?" and started wondering, "What within me did I awaken in him?" That question changes everything. It softens the pain. It turns memory into meaning. He realizes now that love is not something we lose. We only change its shape. It becomes thought, then dream, then light. It becomes the way we see the world, a little more open, a little more alive. Perhaps you feel it too, that strange pull when you think of him, as if something between you still moves beneath the surface, beyond words, beyond time. Because when two souls truly meet, the connection does not belong to either. It belongs to the silence between them. Two shadows stand on opposite shores. The same tide touches both. He dreams of you, but maybe, in some distant layer of night, you dream of him too. Not in story, but in feeling. A gentle echo across the dark. And if you do, know that what you feel is not just memory. It is the living thread between souls, woven through meaning, not possession. You are not his, and he is not yours. Yet both of you belong to the same great unfolding that love began. Firelight dances on the wall, shadows becoming golden wings. This is the work of the self, the slow alchemy of the heart, turning longing into wisdom, pain into compassion, separation into wholeness. He no longer runs from what he felt for you. He carries it now, gently, like a flame in the hollow of his hands, and in that warmth, he forgives himself for not knowing how to stay, because now he understands. He didn't lose you, he met himself through you. You were never the end of the story. You were the beginning of his awakening. A new dawn breaks, the horizon painted in gold and silver mist. And maybe that's the secret of why he still dreams of you. Not because he wants to return, but because through those dreams, life keeps reminding him that love is eternal in its essence, even when its forms dissolve. And perhaps, somewhere in your own quiet hours, you feel that same stillness that once held you both. That is the silent force, not the love between two people, but the love within creation itself, calling each soul back home. Love does not end when we part. It continues, refined, distilled, until it becomes what it was always meant to be. Awareness. And in that awareness, you realize he never truly left. He only transformed. A final image. The candle from the beginning still burns, but now its light fills the room. No more trembling, only warmth. He dreams of you because the soul remembers what the mind forgets. That we were never strangers, only reflections, meeting for a moment to remind each other of something eternal. If this spoke to your soul, share it. Someone out there may need to hear this tonight.